I'm sure of it that 95 to 100% of you watching this video right now, they have a phone. So let's use a phone as a perfect example for explaining depreciation. So let's say you bought this phone 2 years ago and it was costing you 3,000 rands and you want to sell it today. So obviously you can't be selling that phone 3,000 rands because the value of the phone was depreciating the past 2 years, right? So maybe you bought it 3,000 rands. Today you are going to sell it 900 rands. That's hurtful, but that's depreciating. So that's what happens to a lot of goods that we buy from our retailers. So in grade 11 you are going to be dealing with depreciation, and there are only two types of depreciation methods. Firstly, we are having the linear depreciation method, or you can say the straight line, and its formula is the very same formula with simple interest, but in this case you are going to be using a negative here, right? And then its graph, it's going to maybe, let's say you bought that phone at 3,000 rands, right? And then after that 2 years it's going it's going to be costing you 0 rands, isn't it? So right. And then we go to the reducing method. The reducing method is the same as the compound interest. Just the difference is that you are having a negative here, right? So its graph is this one. Same. So another words that you are going to be hearing from now on. They are calling them the scrap and a book value, right? What is the difference between these two? Let's say, let's take that phone as an example as well, right? Let's say you bought it 2 years ago and then you want to sell it now. So the value that you are going to be using right now, let's say you are using 900 rands, it's a book value. A book value is a value whereby this phone is still working nicely, it's still 100% pashash. But a scrap value is whereby maybe you have been using this phone for the past 4 years and now it doesn't have any value, but you still want to sell the parts. So that's where you are going to be having a scrap value. But usually if not always, the scrap value or a book value, when you are calculating it on depreciation, is always going to be equals to your final amount, right? So let's take this example for an example. They're saying John wants to sell his car in 5 years time. The rate of depreciation is 14% per annum and the car's current value is 60,000. Calculate the book value, right? This is a book value. The book value, what did I say? A book value is the value of the car while it's still running. Okay, they are saying calculate the book value of the car in 5 years time if depreciation is based on a straight line method. So the straight line method, that's what we were talking about at the start there. And then you are going to say A is equals to P1 minus by IN, right? So you're going to be using the very same things. They want the book value. The book value is the final amount, right? That's what we are calculating. So our principal value or our present value of the car is 60,000 rands. 1 minus by our interest, our depreciation interest, we are given as 14%. Remember, you're going to say 14 divided by 100, and it's going to take for how long? For 5 years. And then you are simply going to punch your calculator, guys, and you should be getting that the car now cost 18,000 rands. That is depreciating, guys. Depreciation actually. After how long? After 5 years. So let's look at it at a reducing balance. We will see which one is better, straight line method or the reducing balance. So in the reducing balance, as I've said that you are going to use the simple interest formula, but the difference is that you are having a minus now. So we are going to be looking for the book value. The current value of the car is 60,000 rands. 1 minus by the percentage is 14. You're going to say 14 divided by 100 to the power of 5, because that's the period. You're going to simply punch your calculator. What you should be getting is 28,225 rands and 62 cents. So we can see that depreciating is something that takes place to any good that you are having, right? So in this case, we can see that straight line method is not the best method you can choose, but the reducing balance is there. It's probably the best thing you can agree on, actually. Okay, let's go to our next question, which is our last question. So if you want a revision of grade 10 grade 10 summary, I will link a video on your screen right now whereby you can just recap. I'm sure it's a 7 to a 10-minute video. So let's go to our next question. They are saying calculate the original price. When they say the original price, they are talking about P, guys, the principal amount, the present value. So they are saying calculate the original amount. That's the money you bought this asset with. They are saying calculate the original amount of a computer if its depreciated value after 7 years is 900 rands and the rate of depreciation was 12% per annum, calculated using a straight line. So let's start with a straight line. A straight line, we know that it looks like the simple interest formula, but we are going to use a negative in the middle. So the final value of the computer, we are being given that it is 900 rands, right? We want the original amount, which is P. So what is the rate? The rate is 12%. We are going to say 12 divided by 100. For how long? It's going to be for 7 years. Then remember, guys, from grade 10, I was emphasizing that you should not use your calculator just yet. You are simply going to use it at the end. So you are going to take this as it is. You're so going to say 12 divided by 100 times by 7, because you want this to calculate this, and then you are going to find your original value of the computer. So it's going to be when I punch my calculator, I found out it's going to be 5,625. Right. If you are having any questions, my level 7 pioneers, please post them on our comment section below. And if you are getting any value, you can comment on the comment section below and say level 7 pioneer. So now we are using the reducing balance method. So you are going to be writing it like this. So the future or the final value of the computer is 900 rands, isn't it? And we are looking for the original amount. 1 minus by the percentage is 12%. You're going to say 12 divided by 100 raised to the exponent of 7. Then you are going to divide by 1 minus by 12 divided by 100 raised to the exponent of 7. 1 minus by 12 divided by 100 raised to the exponent of 7. This is going to cancel this, and then our original value is going to be 2,202 and 24 cents. Right. So in this like, what can we make up from these two answers? Is that still it is better to use the reducing method, because the laptop was cheaper when you bought it compared to your straight line method, right? So let's go to our next video, guys, whereby we are going to be discussing the different compounding periods. So we are going to be looking at different compounding periods, and we are going to be using the timeline and stuff. So on to our next video, my level 7 pioneers. Thanks for watching.